So we can see Swamiji's face on your screen. If you can't see it, please tell me. And what do you think that why I am showing you his picture and why I am concentrating on Swamiji today? Very good, Sanjeevani. Yes, because tomorrow is his birthday. 12th January 1863 he was born, and tomorrow is his birthday. And what else is tomorrow? Tomorrow is also known as something other. What is that? Prerna, tomorrow is what day? Shomita, tomorrow is what day? Tomorrow is the National Youth Day, because Swamiji was the first person in modern India who talk about the youth. Yes, very good, Shomita, National Youth Day. So he was the first person who told that youth is the future of a nation, and if the youth can think in a proper way, then the nation will think in a proper way too. So tomorrow is his birthday, so today we will talk a little bit on him. I can see all of you. I feel that all of you can see this PPT. So here we can see that he was born on January 1863 and his father's name was Vishwanath Datta and his mother's name was Bhuvaneshwari Devi. And after he was born, he was known as Narendranath Datta. He had another nickname. What was that? Anyone knows it? He had another nickname in Bengali. Very good, Shritama. It's Bile. Yes. He was a very naughty child. He was a very bright child at his young age, and he was known as Bile. He was born in Kolkata, in that Shimla area, Shimla-Gaur area. Okay, and he studied in the Metropolitan School in the Presidency College. Can you see his face, how bright it is? But his eyes are very mischievous. Can you see it? He graduated from Calcutta University from the Scottish Church College, and he acquired a vast knowledge of different subjects, especially the Western philosophy and history. He had a great inquisitive nature. He had a very inquisitive nature. He always used to ask questions, and he used to ask questions to his teachers, to his parents, to everybody about God, because he used to meditate a lot from his very childhood, and he used to ask about the existence of God because he wanted to see God, but nobody could satisfy him. Nobody could give a proper answer to his questions. And at the threshold, at the beginning of his youth, he had to pass through a spiritual crisis, and he thought that the total confusion or the total concept of God and this religion is a myth. And it was created that he started to create doubts about the existence of God, because nobody could give him a proper answer. Nobody. Anyone whom he asked the question about, have you seen God? Have you met God? How he looks? How he talked to you? Nobody could give a proper answer to his questions. So he started doubting this concept. Then finally in 1881 November, Narendranath went to meet Sri Ramakrishna, who was the pujari of the Kali temple at Dakshineshwar. And here he started talking with Ramakrishna, and Ramakrishna, who was one of the major reformers of modern India about the Hinduism, he was a man of knowledge and simplicity at the same time. He had a huge knowledge, but his ideas were talked in a very simple way, simple language. He never boasted about his knowledge, but the knowledge which he had, really any human being had it. And he was the first person who gave a proper answer to Narendranath. When Narendranath also asked Ramakrishna that, can you see God? Have you seen God? Ramakrishna gave the answer while smiling that, yes, I have seen God. I have seen God just in that place where you are sitting now, and just as much real as you are. And then Vivekananda could not reject Ramakrishna and could not accept Ramakrishna. A dilemma started within himself, and this dilemma then followed him. And then for 5 years he was a disciple of Ramakrishna. And after his sudden death of his father in 1884, Narendranath had to bear the burden of supporting his mother and the brothers. And then after 2 years, 16 August 1886, Ramakrishna gave up his mortal body. That means Ramakrishna also died. And as Ramakrishna also died, he also left a vacuum in Vivekananda's life. So in 1887, he took a formal vows of sannyas. You can see here how he dressed like. He dressed like a sannyas, and he took the dress of saffron color. And he went to a place for meditation. Yes, Shritama, what you are trying to say? Which was the place where he meditated for continuously for few days? Which was the place? Anybody knows? Sanjeevani? Which was the place where he meditated for a few days and got the enlightenment within him? Okay, let's see. No, Shritama. See, this is the place. Have anybody visited? Very good, Sanjeevani. It is the Vivekananda Rock. It's in which place? It's in which place? Vivekananda Rock is in Tamil Nadu. Very good. It's the Kanyakumari. It's the Kanyakumari where, no Shritama, it's not in Pondicherry. It's in Kanyakumari, Vivekananda Rock. So it is the meeting place of the three oceans. You can see here, if this is the place, so this is the southernmost tip of India during that time, and this is the western side. In this western side it has the Arabian Sea. In the eastern side they had the Bay of Bengal, and in the southern side they have the Indian Ocean. So in this rock, for 3 to 4 days continuously, Vivekananda, he meditated, and then he got the spirituality, then he got the enlightenment. Can you see the colors of the blue in the photo? Can you see it? It's very remarkable. It says that if you go to Kanyakumari, you can actually see the three blue colors, they are meeting together. So it's a meeting place. And from this place he got this idea, he got the idea to be the sannyas, and he then recognized himself as Swami Vivekananda. Then he said that all my patriotism is gone, now everything is gone, now it's only mother and mother. It means only I am taking the name of Mother, that is the God Almighty and the Creator. All my patriotism, everything is gone. And he also said the national idea of India are renunciation and service. Intensity her in those channels and the rest will take care of itself. That means you have to follow the service, you have to provide the service, and you have to follow the renunciation. Then everything will follow the right place, everything will take care of itself. There is nothing to worry about. Okay, and he also said the strength is life and weakness is death. Very important. He said, arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. That means don't stop. If you have thought about a goal, if you have thought about an aim, then please don't stop. Don't let any kind of burden, any kind of interruption to stop you. Be a hero. Always say, I have no fear. Always be a hero. Always. That you are the hero of your parents, you are the hero in the class, you are the hero of the school, you are the hero of the nation and the world itself. Always be at front, lead the world from behind. And he also left for America from Mumbai on 31st May in 1893 because he wanted to meet the Western people, where World's Parliament of Religion was going on in Chicago in September 1893. There he gave a beautiful speech and people started to know about India, about India's Advaita philosophy, about India's Vedanta philosophy. And then after his return from America, he founded the Ramakrishna Mission on 1st May 1897. Can you see this building? Can you see this building? What building is this? Can you see this building? What is this building? Mitadru, Shomita. Shritama is typing, I can see. So Mitadru, Shomita. Which building is this? Very good, Sanjeevani. Belur Math. This is the Belur Math where the first Ramakrishna Mission was established. So he established, and this is the logo of Ramakrishna Mission. While establishing it, he got his disciples, his students as Margaret Noble. Later we know her as a sister Nivedita. He also got his disciples as Captain and Mrs. Savor, Josephine MacLeod and Sarah Ole Bull. So we can see that the Western people also became disciples of Swamiji. They came here in India and he got their transformation in India. Okay, and his last days, in his last days he looked like this, and he lived throughout in Ramakrishna Mission, and he had a vision to create a reformation movement in India. So his health deteriorated and at the end came quietly on the 9th of 4th July 1902. So on 1902 4th July he left his mortal body and he got nirvana and went outside of this world. But he is within us, he is with us always, he is remembered every day and is there with his bright, courageous speeches always. Okay, so anything you want to share, anything you want to say? Otherwise I'll end the class here today.